everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jay Delgado and we are about to embark on our most epic journey yet. If you've watched our stuff before, you'll know that we built a savage BMW M2 over in Arizona. Well, we're now back in the UK for our highest risk, most complicated, but biggest reward build yet. Now this build is super exciting to me because I absolutely love the chassis we're going to be working on. It was my first BMW, and I'm sure you as the viewer are going to have a connection to the car that we're doing. Now before we get into this build and show you what it is, let's take a trip down memory lane. There are cars that turn heads, then there are cars that write history. The BMW E36 is both. A timeless icon of the 1990s that bridged the gap between road-going performance and motorsport dominance. The E36 wasn't just a road car, it was a racing legend. It dominated touring car series like the BTCC and the German DTM, proving its mettle against some of the toughest competition in motorsport history. Today, the BMW E36 holds a special place in the heart of car enthusiasts. Affordable, customizable, and still a joy to drive, it remains a gateway into the world of performance cars and motorsports. Its legacy continues, not just as a symbol of BMW's engineering prowess, but also a car that inspires passion and connection across generations. But what made it truly iconic wasn't just its looks, it was its versatility. The E36 became a beloved platform for the drivers, tuners and racers alike. From the road to the track, the BMW E36 is more than just a car. It's a legend, and legends, as we know, never fade. So now it's time to show you the car. And here it is, the E36, a mark on history, a staple in motorsports. And this one is about to get the full treatment. Okay, so this doesn't look like your average E36. And of course, there's been a load of work that's happened behind the scenes. So we're gonna set the story straight and let you know exactly what happened. We bought an E36 328 off of eBay. We found the mintest one that we could, and we sent our friend Jack to go and pick it up. After that, we took it to my friend Lee's barn, and then we stripped the whole car down. Thank you to them for the help. We decided we were going to send it for a roll cage. We sent it over to Sean Gosling because we knew we needed the best roll cage possible. Once at Sean's, he installed a full multi-point roll cage and our air jacks as well. Then we decided we were going to acid dip the car. That was for two main reasons. One of them was to get rid of all the corrosion that we possibly could. The other reason is to reduce the weight of the car. We wanted to get rid of all of the undersill, everything that was not needed, that was stuck to the car, went. It came back as a bare shell, bare metal. It looks pretty cool, to be fair. After that, we sent it for e-coating. That protects the whole shell. It gets dipped in paint, and then we're where we're at now. A bare shell dipped in paint, and we are going to get on with it. Now we're taking a lot of inspiration from those 90s touring cars, but we are not building a complete replica. We are doing things a little bit different, a little bit of our taste added in there. But let's start at the front. We are going to go for touring car style wider arches. We got some beautiful carbon fiber wings here from Flossmann Auto Designs in Germany, and these are actually molded off the original wing from the touring cars, and you can actually see the sponsor embossed in the mold there, so that's quite cool. But what these have is the bubbling on the front arch that they were allowed to do at the time is really going to give us that touring car look. So here we have a lot of our rear end parts. We've gone and ordered pretty much everything, so all new stuff. We've got new hubs, new bearings, new bushing housings. We've sent away the subframe and the rear trailing arms to be powder coated. Loads of new bolts and nuts. And then we've got some beautiful touring car replica parts from MRT Engineering. Absolutely stunning parts. And what these are going to do, these are going to help us really improve the handling of the car, and also where we're going to be lowering the car down right to the floor. we need a lot of roll center correction, and this is all built into this arm. It looks absolutely stunning. Can't wait to fit them. The first thing on our job list is going to be to install the rear bearings into the rear trailing arm. We're going to do that by putting them in the press and actually pressing in the new bearings into here, and then we're going to install the circlips. All right, so we're going to get some lubrication. Lube this up, stick it in the vise, not the vise, stick it in the press. Oh. Sorry. That was satisfying. Next is to install the circlip. Here we go. Ow. Fuck's sake. Don't forget to wear your safety squints. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh! Oh yeah, satisfying. That was satisfying. She's in. She's looking good. Next, we're going to install the front bearing onto the front hub. Not forgetting lubrication. We're going to reveal what engine we're using in another episode, but we are now going to start talking about the rear of the car, because the rear is stock. Now, if you know anything about the touring cars, you'll know that the tyre sits way up in the arch there. So we're actually going to have to manually, basically hammer and dolly out this whole rear arch to bring it out like they did with the touring cars. We're not going to be sticking on any over fenders or any carbon fibre or anything like that. We're going to actually manipulate the original metal to pull it out, give us that bubble effect, and most importantly, the touring car look. Now, in order for us to achieve that really low look, we've got to use some specialist parts, and that's exactly what we got here. These are beautiful MRT arms, same as the front ones, and what these actually allow us to do is run super low. You've got this kink here that's going to move the whole hub upwards, and these all mount onto our powder-coated subframe. And I'm basically going to go ahead and get all of this stuff together so we can see what it all looks like. We've got Jack Kitchener turned up with his new M2 on the trailer. Let's give it a go. Oh yes, Yorkshire, Yorkshire. He's from Blackburn actually. They're so not going on. So we've got one part that didn't really survive the acid dipping because it had too much corrosion, and that is the anti-roll bar mounting point here. So the anti-roll bar sits here with the rubbers. That was basically so corroded that it's eaten it all away. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to replace this part. We'll show you on the other side. So we can see here, this is the mount on the other side, and it's actually held on with spot welds. So what we need to do is mark up the exact position where this sits, which I've done already by just scribing it. Then we need to take our spot weld drill bit and actually drill out all the little spot welds so that this piece can be detached, and then when the new part comes, we'll stick it on and weld it on, and then it'll be fixed. Crispy. But it's off, so now what we can do is focus on getting the new one. We'll clean up this area, but you can see the acid has done its job, and then the paint has also got in there quite nice as well. So we'll clean all this area up, we'll weld on the new one, and then we'll protect it with the same sort of stuff. But you can see how good that E-coating is, because it's even got all inside here. Yeah, there are some parts where it hasn't got to. Most likely, well, that seems like that was connected there. So yeah, it had got to pretty much all of it. So that's protecting the car as much as you can. but this just didn't stand the test of time. So we've just mocked up the rear anti-roll bar because we actually have to modify it. Even though this is a brand new part, we've got some adjustability that we can put in here. So these little L pieces, they actually weld on around about here. So we're just gonna have to mark it up, cut the new anti-roll bar just there, and then weld these pieces on, and that's gonna give us 2 levels of adjustability in our rear anti-roll bar. So we're going down to Sean Gosling's now, grid. He's going to lend us his rotisserie for the E36 so we can spin it around and do all of the work we need to do underneath the car. It's going to make things so much easier. And oh, there's a big lorry. Oh no, oh no. So yeah, with that out of the way, so yeah, we're just going to use the rotisserie. We're going to be able to access under the arches, and we're going to be able to, you know, kind of bring the arch out, bulge it out. To be honest with you, I've not done it before, so we'll just have to see what happens. Yes! A spit roast. What's it called? A rotisserie. Thank you very much to Sean for lending us the rotisserie. He's been very helpful all the way through all of our projects, and this is going to help us turn the E36 over so we can cut some bodywork. No. It's close. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Oh, that was right in my shoulder.
How can it get stuck on a 5mm bolt? All right, so we're all strapped up now. We're gonna head back to the workshop, get the E36 mounted. Right, so we're in the workshop now with the rotisserie, but we've got to modify it to be able to fit the E36 on. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the original bumper mounts, and then we've got some plate here. We're going to weld that on there so that then we can put some standoffs here, and then we can put the car on the ramp, lower it down into the rotisserie, bolt it up, and then we should have full rotation. So we've got this piece here, which we're now going to weld onto the front, and then we'll have another piece to go on here so they can butt up together, which means we can lift the car up and down quite easily, remove it. Damn. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make something up like this to go on the actual spit roast. So we'll put that on like that, and then what that's going to allow us to do is actually butt the 2 materials up, so then the car can be lifted and lowered without kind of extending and closing up the rotisserie. So we're going to get that welded on, and we'll do the same on the other side, and then we'll actually weld it onto the rotisserie, and that'll be the front end done. All right, so after welding this all up and actually trying it, lifting the car, it's rubbish. So we're going to make it again. We've proved the concept though this time. We've proved the concept. Basically, where these were a little bit flimsy, they kind of move inside. So what we got is larger and stronger material now, which we can weld up. And we got these plates. So what we're going to do, same sort of thing, but we're going to make the plates this time nice and thick. It was a bit flimsy before, so it would move. We're going to put them on there, bolt them up, and then we're going to get some of this welded to there, and then another plate about there, and then that will bolt to this, and then that will then go onto the rotisserie. Remember, we're doing this so that we can remove the car easily. I could just weld that straight to this, but then we're not going to be able to get it off, so we need to be able to get it off and on again with what we're doing. So let's get to it.
A few inches later.
One E36 on a rotisserie. This time we made the mounts much better, and it is super strong and ready to be flipped upside down. So this is going to allow us to spin the car upside down because we need to get to those rear arches. And it makes it super easy once it's flipped. And that's it, flipped. So we're actually going to work on the back arch here. I'm going to show you exactly what we need to do. In order for us to get that touring car tucked look, we actually need to manipulate this rear arch here. But in order for us to get there, we need to take away this inner arch. We can see here, we've got this metal area that we need to cut out. I've marked it with the yellow paint. We need to cut that out first, so then I can get the hammer and dolly in and start manipulating the outside of this arch. The reason for that is because the wheels currently won't fit. So we can lift this up and put it in here. This is a 9.5J rim. We can see that immediately it's hitting on that inner arch. We need to bubble this section here so that this can drop in and the arch will come just under that rim line. That's the look that we're going for. This is the scary bit. We're about to do the cutting. Now this tool I call the barper, which you'll find out why in a second. We've got an 8-inch wheel in here now. We're starting to see that look that we were going for. You can see the alloy is well tucked in the arch there. It probably actually won't be this low when we get there, but we know now that that is getting deep enough. We haven't actually modified the arch that much here yet, but I think we still will because it is hitting right at the back here. It is hitting the chassis, but I could probably lift it something like that is what we're going for, where the alloy just sits below. So still a bit more to go, but we can see where we've cut away here. We've taken loads out so that that wheel can dip right in. And if we wanted to, this is the area that we would flare even more. As this is kind of going that way, we want it to go that way. And then what we'll do is we'll tie this all back in with a nice new piece of metal, make sure it's nice and strong. And then we've got to do the same to the other side. So the position we're in now, we've got it all cut out. We can see that the wheel fits in there nice. Now what we've got to do tomorrow is lay in another piece of metal to kind of tie this all in down here. So it's going to come from the old inner arch and it's actually going to be welded to the outer arch. We'll see a little bit of the weld around here, but of course then that'll be covered up with some filler, and we've got to do a lot of work, as we mentioned, to the fenders. So that's going to be good, but I hope you've enjoyed the video so far, and if you haven't subscribed, please do, because it helps us grow and we'll bring more content to your screen. Great success! The arches are cut, and how good does that look? So now we're at the point where we're going to want to start manipulating this arch. We need to take it from a concaved angle here to a convex angle. And what that means is we need to take, see how it goes in and then comes up? We need to make it more of a bubble shape. So we're going to be working on this area here, and also we're going to be taking out this ridge area here. So essentially we're going to use two tools. We've got a dolly and a hammer, and we can use the dolly to support the material from behind, and then we can use the hammer to kind of start taking those angles out, making them more obtuse. Then we can start working on the top area here, and essentially I'm going to go behind and I'm going to hit it from the inside, and that's going to start bringing this angle out to be more convexed. We'll see how this goes, because I've never done it before, so Let's do it. I'm gonna look really serious now.
Stop it. Get some help.
I'm really happy with how this is looking so far. We've kind of fettled it. We've got that STW touring car bubble look. We've completely lost all the concave part, and now it's completely convexed. And you can see it's kind of bubbled out by the door, and then round the back here, you've got that bubble shape, kind of following these yellow lines here. It's not too aggressive, but it's kind of gradual. The next thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna sand off all of this E-coating so we can actually see the low spots. Obviously, you know, hitting it with a hammer, it's created a lot of high and low spots that we need to go in and fettle. It's not gonna need to be absolutely perfect because we are gonna be fillering this arch, but you know, we wanna get it as best we can so the filler has to do the least work possible.
What's he done? What's he done?
Oh.
What have you done?
I think I've absolutely just cocked it up.
Going for first, said John Fallon.
Beautiful carbon fibre moulds here, not moulds. However, if we move down to the back of the car, when doing this, don't forget to wear safety glasses. Safety squints. We need some specialist parts, and that's what we got here. We got these beautiful. Because I'm on camera, I'm shaking like a shitting dog. Next, we're going to install the front hubs onto the front hub. All right, so here we are. Here's the car. Obviously, ooh, what was that? E36, a super iconic car, motorsport renowned around the world. E36, a worldwide staple, no, motorsports, a mark on history. And this one, I don't know, it's time to show you the car. And of course, it's the, oh no. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. If you, with this specific car, I don't know.